You're back! Well, I'm so glad you joined me once again to take a bite into some more automotive SEO. And today is fun, but very important episode. Let me paint you a picture. The customer just bought, say, a Silverado from you. They're thrilled, and they are generous enough to leave you a detailed 5-star review. And your team's response is too often one of these. Thank you for your business. We appreciate your feedback. Come back again soon. We appreciate your support. Here's the most important part. The customer trust angle. Prospective buyers read reviews before they visit a dealership. That we know. And that includes the responses. So whenever a response is lazy or identical or both, it undermines confidence. If your review responses are establishing trust with potential buyers and building authenticity signals, but they're failing to do that, if that's what they should do and they're failing to do that, why write them at all? Right? So that begs the question, what's the anatomy of an ideal response? How do we want to respond to folks when they leave reviews? Step 1, specificity. Refer to something real, a specific detail from the review. Maybe it's the customer's name, the vehicle they purchased or brought in for service, the name of the sales associate or service advisor, if they mention them, but anything that proves a human being actually took the time to read the review and respond to it personally. Specificity creates authenticity. We're so glad, for example, I'm jumping the gun, I should say, for example, we're so glad to hear Sarah took great care of you during your Silverado 1500 purchase, Mike. That does more work in one sentence than a full paragraph of a generic appreciation. Step 2, naturally integrate a soft keyword to reinforce topical and local relevance without sounding spammy. So let's build on the response we started. Again, we're so glad to hear Sarah took great care of you during your Silverado 1500 purchase, Mike. Helping customers find the right truck in the Pensacola area is exactly what our team loves to do. See how we're building this? Step 3, let's call it the human closer. I mean, in sales, it's ABC, always be closing, right? So just like you want to land this sale, you want to stick the landing on the response. So again, don't write, hope to see you again, or pitch something like, remember to check in with us when you hit 3,000 miles for that oil change. And you're not writing corporate legal copy either. Your satisfaction is our top priority. So, let's add that step 3 in. We're so glad to hear Sarah took great care of you during your Silverado 1500 purchase, Mike. Helping customers find the right truck in the Pensacola area is exactly what our team loves to do. If you ever have any questions or need anything at all, ask for Sarah directly. She'd love to help. You're personalizing the call to action. You're reinforcing the team member's name. And you're inviting a continued relationship rather just acknowledging a transaction. And that extra 60 seconds to write something authentic helped you go from accomplishing nothing to quite a lot. And that's the trade-off. Okay. I hope you're ready for this next part. Remember, it's good to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. For every 10 great reviews, you'll get the dreaded 1-star review. And that's going to spike your blood pressure. The customer who claims that you, quote, ripped them off, or they didn't even write a single word, or they confused your dealership with another. I've seen it all. So, the first rule of Response Club, cool off. Don't respond emotionally. If you're angry, frustrated, and feeling defensive, take a stroll for 15 minutes or come back to it in an hour. A defensive emotional response from a dealership is one of the most damaging things that can appear on your Google business profile, and it lives there permanently. Remember, the response is actually not for the angry reviewer. It's for the next 100 people who read it when they're considering where to buy. Your response has a twofold goal. Acknowledge the concerns without admitting fault. Again, just acknowledge the feelings and move the conversation offline without looking like you're hiding. You don't want to argue facts in a public response. Even if you're completely right, it still looks bad. Something like, we'd appreciate the opportunity to learn more about what happened. We have your contact information from the purchase or service, and our general manager, James, will be reaching out. I would not recommend that you ask them to call you. That's why I said, hey, we have your information from the purchase and we'd love to reach out. You need to be proactive at solving the issue, not asking them to do more. They're the ones with the problem and you're trying to solve it. Don't give them more work. That's probably just going to make them angrier. But that's it. Keep the public response, brief, professional, and forward-looking. And, that's a different tone than call us because this review is inaccurate, or a long-winded explanation that details every nuanced interaction you and that customer had. Let's be honest. One of the most underrated trust builders is trying to fix a perceived problem. Customers don't expect perfection. They expect accountability. And what's more, research on review behavior consistently demonstrates that consumers are suspicious of businesses with nothing but perfect 5-star reviews. It looks inauthentic. I always say that a 4.6 or a 4.7 is sort of a Goldilocks zone. I know that sounds odd, but negative reviews can actually be a trust asset. Whew, glad we got that one done. Okay, joke break. What do you call an angry carrot? A steamed veggie. Anyone? All right, well, let's address the elephant in the room. I know you are already using AI to write review responses. My role isn't to tell you to stop, but I do want to help make some suggestions to avoid the copy-paste trap we talked about earlier. The right way to use AI for review responses, we'll say that 5 times fast. So the right way to use AI for review responses is as a drafting assistant, not the author. Here's what that looks like in practice. Right? Your marketing coordinator reads the review, pulls out the key details, the customer's name, the vehicle, the team member mentioned, the specific issue or specific compliment, and feed those as bullet points into the AI prompt. Customer's Mike, bought a 2025 Silverado 1500, mentioned salesperson Sarah by name, very happy with the financing process. We're located in Pensacola. The AI drafts a response based on those specifics. A human reads it, adjusts the tone to match the dealership's voice, makes any other adjustments to make it more human and personalized, and posts it. That workflow gets you the efficiency of AI without the homogeneity that tanks your review signal, right? The AI is doing the structural work, framing, grammar, flow, while the human is supplying the specificity that makes the response valuable. Okay, speed. The gold standard for review response time in 2026 is under 24 hours. For negative reviews, faster is better because a prospective customer might see that 1-star review before you've even responded to it. If you watched last week's episode, I referred to a command center where you have a protocol and clearly assigned ownership on things like reviews, whether it's a member of their team, an entire team, or an agency. At the end of the day, reviews are not a passive channel. They're an active, ongoing conversation between your business and your market, and you need to treat them that way. All right. Next episode, we're keeping at it with Google Business Profiles by diving into a checklist for car dealerships. So yes, a GBP checklist for car dealers next week. I hope to see you then, and thanks for joining me and taking a bite off more than we can chew.